Welcome to the WeMag show. Today we have our guest, Amanda Hewitt. She is a blogger, a speaker, and the founder of Positively Beautiful, Beautiful Life, sorry. And she is also working towards your show too, right? You have a show coming?
No, not a show. I am writing a book right now, currently.
Yes, sorry, she's writing a book at the moment. But October is a month that we must all recognize. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And Amanda Hewitt has her story how she is a survivor of domestic violence. Before she discusses how she survived it, she's going to definitely share with us her beautiful story about Positively Beautiful Life, how she got started, what was her motivation behind it, and how she manages everything with being a wife, mother, and having her own business. So, Amanda, please introduce yourself again.
Well, thank you so much, Claire, for having me on this show. I'm so excited about this. So, a little bit about me. I started my blog about 6 years ago. It's called Positively Beautiful Life. I wanted to inspire others, encourage others, motivate, and just bring laughter into people's lives. And I decided I'm gonna just start writing, and I'm gonna start a blog. I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning, but it has become my business, and I love it. So my motto for my blog is inspiring others one post at a time. And that is what I really hope to do. I am also currently writing a book. The title is called Just as Good as Chocolate and Wine. Um,
Interesting.
Yes. So a lot of my stories that are in my blog, which if you go to my blog and go to Inspirational Tuesdays, I'm taking a lot of the blog posts into this book, and then also writing my own stories as well that aren't on my blog. Um, and so it's going to be short stories, and if you need encouragement, you there's a short story for that. If you need to laugh, there's a story for that. If you just need some encouragement, there's a story for that as well. And it is Christian based, and so there are Bible verses to go with each and every story. Like you were saying, I am a wife and a mother to a teenage boy who is 15 years old. And
Wow.
it's a crazy time right now.
Yes, especially around COVID.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That has changed all of our lives, especially our children's lives, and dealing with he's in sports and football right now, and juggling, COVID with that, and home life, and my blog, and trying to write my book right now. I also have my boutique, which is called Positively Beautiful Things. It's at a standstill right now just because of COVID.
Right.
There's not really much I can do. I was going to events and being at events and selling my boutique items that I sell, and everything that I sell is inspirational. It's jewelry that is inspirational. There's, things with quotes and stuff. But right now, like I said, because of COVID, it's at a standstill.
Now, have you found that your quote has changed because of COVID-19 or your vision has changed for the
Um,
boutique or your possibly beautiful life?
so honestly, for my blog for Positively Beautiful Life, it hasn't changed one bit in a way, because it's about encouraging and motivating and help, and just sharing stories as well. And right now at this time, we need that more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
We need to laugh. We need encouragement. There's so much negativity. There's just so much just bad stuff going on right now. And I don't want to talk, I'm about being real. And yes, it's out there. But I'm going to try my best to, to stay positive, because my life story has been, uh, it's been a crazy roller coaster. It truly has. And there has been the bad and there has been the good. But I will tell you something that has helped me in and through my whole life has been my positive attitude. And that's what I, excuse me, and that's what I hope to bring to others, is that positivity. So,
I agree with you. Being empowered, staying positive, and the fact that you're sharing your blog and your writing and your book with everyone, that helps a lot. And I find, I don't know about for you, when you go out of your way helping someone through sharing your stories or just being there, you feel good about yourself too.
yeah,
It makes you feel, like you're doing something, you're contributing.
yeah.
And the best way to reach out millions of people is, of course, through the social media platform that we have and that you have. And you are doing that. You're doing a great job. And thank you for that.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, yes,
Yes.
I greatly. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay. So I know that your story is very empowering with the fact that you are a survivor of domestic violence. I know that it was at age 19, you learned that you were pregnant and you felt you had to be married or get married to your son's father. So tell me about you being that 19-year-old girl who was in that situation, that bad situation, and how did you overcome it? How did you survive it?
Wow. Okay. So yes, I was 19 years old. Um, Something that I don't share very often is, in the interview that I did for you guys back in March, for the March issue of 2019, I had, I revealed that um, my ex-husband, so whenever we got together, it's pretty much started out with rape. Not the first time, but the second time, whenever I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. And and that was something really hard for me to admit. And so right in the very beginning, it was already starting at a down slope. Um, so what I did is I don't know how I was able to continue to move on, but I did. And then I found out that I was pregnant. And the crazy thing is, I had this feeling that I was pregnant before, as soon as it happened. And then I was pregnant, and there was so much pressure. I was 19, very naive, um, really didn't know a whole lot about the world and the evil that there is in the world. I wasn't prepared. Um, and so I was just surviving, as you said. I am a survivor. I was just trying to survive each day. And once I had my son, so actually we got married um, 2 days before I had my son, and which was crazy, crazy experience. Um, and then within a month of marriage, we just had lots of stressors. We didn't really have a place to live. It was just a lot of stress on both of us. And that's whenever the abuse started to happen. It started very just small things, and then it just escalated from there. And it just kept on and kept on and kept on escalating until it got so bad that I remember lying on the floor, and just wishing I was dead, wishing I wasn't there anymore. And
Right.
so, um, and there was times like I wanted help. I wanted help. This was a long time ago. This was like 15 years ago.
And it still affects you. You still have that pain.
Well, I do get a little bit teary-eyed whenever I still talk about it. And it's not that I'm not healed, because I have gone through the healing process and I
Hmm.
continue to go through the healing process. I forgive my ex-husband. I haven't seen him for a very, very long time. But if I were to see him, I would be able to say, I forgive you. And it's okay to get emotional. And I've had to tell myself, okay, it's okay to get emotional. It's fine. It's something that about my story, but it's not anything negative. It's actually
No.
strength. It's a strength because I'm able to relate to others. I'm able to um, I'm able to just understand others. That
You empathize with others'
Yeah,
pain
exactly.
because you experience that pain. And it's really good to be that support system. And unfortunately for you, when you were in that predicament, you didn't have a support system.
Yes. Well, I didn't have really a support system because I just couldn't talk to anyone until I had a cousin that asked me. She didn't know the whole situation. I
Hmm.
didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone the whole situation. But she could tell there was stuff going on. And I will say, excuse me, let me take a sip of water really.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, take your time.
um, I will say that if it wasn't for her, uh, and also by the grace of God, I wouldn't be here today, because she's the one who took me and my son in. And I didn't want to put that on anyone else, but I think deep down inside her heart, she knew that there was stuff going on. And
Now, before you go there, like, how did you actually leave the situation?
okay,
What was the final act that gave you the courage to say no more and you were gone?
well, so I started seeing a therapist, and my ex-husband, so he was the type of person I would try, like, in a situation that he was hitting me or whatever, I would try to get help and call somebody. He would take my phone away, and there was one time he just broke it. I had So we only had one vehicle. It's not like, I mean, I couldn't go anywhere. I would try to knock on neighbors, like I was confined. I could not go anywhere. But I don't know how he allowed me to go to counseling. I really don't know, and it's only by the grace of God
It's
that
yeah. That.
that he was able. And I said I needed it. I said I need this counseling. um, and he did. He allowed me, which I thank God so much for that. And so as I was going to counseling, there was one time that it was just very visible. I had bruises everywhere, and I couldn't hide it. There was no hiding this. And so he said, he's like, I'm sorry, Amanda. He's like, I can't help you anymore. And at that time, I broke down, because that's what I was hoping for, somebody to help me to get out of it, or to just to deal with it. And he said, I can't help you, but I would like to take you to Noah's Project. And Noah's Project is a nonprofit organization for where I'm from, Abilene, Texas. Um, and they bring in battered women. And so he took me there. He said, will you go with me? And I said, yes. So I went there. They did an intake. They took pictures. And
Hmm.
um, they just said, if I wanted to go back or whatever, they would try to help me. And so it was at that moment, whenever my own therapist said he couldn't help me anymore. I knew, I was like, I could, because I was trying to stay in it. I was married. I was trying to handle it. I was praying that he would change. And previous to that, we had gone to counseling, both of us.
Oh, okay.
Now that was a whole other, it was crazy because during that time that we were going together, I remember the therapist, I could look in their eyes, and I could see that they didn't have hope for us, that there was no hope. I
Mm-hmm.
could see it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I I just didn't know what to do. And then with my therapist saying that, I can't help you anymore. Pretty much, you're gonna have to help yourself, Amanda. It's either you're gonna have to get out of this. And I was still doubting. I still didn't want to put this on my family. I still didn't want anyone to know. But whenever my cousin was talking to me on the phone, and she knew, she could hear it. She could hear it in my voice. And if she wasn't that persistent, because I mean, she was pretty persistent in, no, you are coming to stay with me. And so it was because of that, of her
Wow.
persistence, that I was able to finally leave. And so I just said, okay, come and pick me up, because I was so scared that I was like, he was at work, and I was like, you have to come right now. Then I was like, he won't let me go. I can't go
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. And so she did. She came and picked us up. I just grabbed whatever I could, and I left our apartment. And that's how I
Wow.
left. But after that, excuse me, um, after that, he tried to come and still see me, and he said, I'm sorry. It was the same story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to get a little sleepy.
No, take your time. You're being authentic, and that's what we like at the WeMag show. We want, people being authentic.
So after that, he tried to come back and get me. Luckily, her husband, she was married. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that there was a male presence there, I mean, it definitely helped. Um, and he did try to come and see me, and he said he would go to counseling. And we did go back to counseling, but it was the same. There was no change. And I did that because of my son. But then a little bit later, I find out that my ex-husband's best friend gives me a call.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much told me that he cheated on me. And so that was the end of it. That was the last straw. I couldn't take
Mm-hmm.
it anymore. I was like, I have a husband who abuses me, not only physically but
Mentally.
emotionally,
Yeah.
mentally. See, physical scars, it heals, bruises heals, you know, scrapes heals, but the emotional part, that sticks, that stays. And so and the fact that that he cheated on me, I mean, I was like, there's just no hope. And that's what made me,
Finally leave him.
yeah, to finally say,
Yeah.
this is it.
And your
So
life has changed for the better since then. You made some
yes,
great choices after that.
yes, thanks be to God. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my
Mm-hmm.
life is so much better. But my story, it's 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 a strength, and it's something that I love, because I love who I am now. Who I was then is completely different who I am now. I was I got down to 85 pounds. I was
Wow.
sick. I was definitely sick.
You were
I
unhealthy.
Yeah, I had so much anxiety. I used to be this bubbly, positive person that I've always known to be. And then I was like this person I didn't even recognize. And now with healing and time, it takes time. It definitely takes time.
Hmm.
And now I'm currently married to an amazing husband. And I think more than anything, my story and what I've been through makes me grateful. I am so grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful
Hmm.
to have a husband that loves me and that honors me and that respects me.
And your son, does your son know your story?
He does. And
Okay.
oh my goodness, I will tell you that he has his own story. Let me tell you. um, and he is the reason why I kept fighting. I kept fighting for him. He's the one who kept me going. And I
He
am,
was your strength.
yes, I am
He
so,
allowed you to see your strength, and you were able to take it from there. So that's
I am
important.
so grateful for him. And he'll say, "Mom, but you weren't expecting to have me." I said, "Baby," I was like, "You were what right? You were what kept me going." I was like, "Don't you ever think any less than that. You are what kept me alive." And I was like, "I am so grateful for you." And I was like, "And who you are is just so amazing. You have your own story, and I know you're gonna inspire others with your own story." And he does. He's gonna have an amazing testimony.
Hmm. So, were you still seeking therapy when you left your ex-husband and before you met your second husband?
Yes. So I actually was going through some counseling at my college at the university. It was free, so and I needed it. And that was after, several years after what I've already been through. Uh,
Hmm.
because I was still dealing with my ex-husband, even though we got divorced. I was still dealing with him on a daily basis until my son was 4 years old.
Okay.
Um, After he was 4 years old, I got a phone call from the police department saying that he was under investigation for shaking a baby. And
Wow.
so they took away his rights temporarily,
Hmm.
and CPS was investigating it. Unfortunately, um, it was inconclusive. They didn't have enough evidence. And so I remember my ex husband calling me, and he said, "I'm going to go pick up Noah." And I said, "No, you're not." I was like, "You are not?" He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "No, you're not." I was like, "I don't," he said, I'll take you to court. I was like, "Take me to court." I was like, "If you don't think that there's not going to be a judge out there that's going to be on my side, then you have something else coming." I was like, "You are not." And it was probably the first time I stood up to him, and I was firm, and I was like, "Nope." I was like, "I don't care what, you are not taking him." And so from that day forward, thanks be to God, he was out of our lives. And I don't know where he is at today as far as in his life. My son is aware of my story. Um,
Hmm.
and it's been up to him. I said, because I believe like his mom has tried to reach to my parents and stuff. And my son is just not ready. And I said, "It's all up to you. It's all up to you, Noah. It's up to you and what you want to do." And he's just, whenever it's his own time, when he is ready, then I'm sure he's gonna want to speak to him. But
Hmm.
he's not there yet.
Right. You gotta give him his time. Like when your time came to be ready to end the relationship for good, and good things happened. And I'm so happy for you how no matter what was going on at that time in your life and afterwards, you still maintained the fact that you wanted to go to school, obtain your degree, and be do better for yourself, for your son, and importantly, how you protected him, from his father. A lot of things came from that experience. You realized how strong you were and still are as a woman, and you started to becoming more grateful for things. Like you
Mhm.
mentioned, you're very appreciative. You're grateful for where you are, for who you have in your life right now, and it's all because from what happened to you in your past.
Yeah.
And you're just living a positively beautiful life, like you,
Exactly.
which is perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
It's so fitting, isn't it?
it is, it is, it is. And now you're writing your book,
Yes,
and
I'm
hopefully
writing.
you'll have a podcast show too. With helping young women like yourself dealing with what you went through and raising your son
Yes,
and allowing yourself to love again. So yeah.
yes. And so I hope to, to be able to speak more. That kind of just came, not unexpectedly, but that's something that I've always wanted to
You
do.
need to. Yeah, definitely. I encourage you to go out and speak your truth.
Yes, yes, definitely. And that's all that any of one of us can do. Just um tell our stories, because we each one of us have our own stories, and you don't know
Hmm.
who you're going to encourage, who you're going to uplift and inspire. And that's the reason why I started my blog, because I said, even if it helps one person, it's that's amazing if it helps one person. And that's why I do it.
Now,
Mhm.
what would you say to a young woman who is
Mhm.
right now in the same situation that you were in when you were 19 years old? What would you say to her?
I would say that, um, to try to stay strong, and that you who you are, your worth is everything. You know, God called us by name. I think whenever we go through domestic violence, we shrivel, right? We become small. We feel broken, and that's not you. You are not that. You are way more than that. You are bigger. God made you into the person that you are. And he wants you to be out of a situation like that. And I would say just to try to lean on others, even though it is the hardest thing to do, because you don't want to bombard others. But that is something that I needed, and that is something that we all need. And that you are strong, and that you can get through this. And even though that you might be going through this, it's going to make you stronger for that. And it's going to be a story, it's going to be a positive story. And so you just got to get out of that situation. And I would also say that there's lots of resources. There really are. And you just got to, get plugged in into your community. So, yeah,
Well
definitely.
said. Well said. And again, October is the month for domestic violence awareness. And please, if you know someone who is in a bad relationship, an abusive relationship, show the support that she may need and help her get the resources so she can do what's best for her. And if she has children, for her children as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda, for joining us today at the WeMag show. I always ask my guests to please share your favorite or original quote that will motivate a woman today and every day.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I have lots of quotes that are original to me. Um, but I would say keep fighting, keep going. Don't let anything bring you down and just be joyful. Oh, it's so hard
Thank you again.
for yes, thank you so much for having me.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I cannot wait for your book to come out.
Yes, yes, me
I'll
too.
be the first to definitely purchase and read it
Yes,
and
thank
give you
you.
the support that you deserve.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you again. Bye bye.
Bye.